Hello and welcome to the Autoblip Academy. I'm Autoblip, your friendly neighbourhood driver coach. Let me pose a question. Are you interested in learning more about how racing cars work and generate lap speed? Are you looking to increase your speed and consistency, but have found existing methods aren't working for you? If you answered yes to any of these questions, please continue to watch because I may have a solution that will work for you. Welcome to Sim Driving Fundamentals, Unlocking Speed and Consistency from the Autoblip Academy. This course has been built from the ground up to increase your knowledge of sim driving and to build your speed and consistency in a tried and tested, known way of working. Within this course, you will learn how to self-analyse, problem solve, increase your knowledge of car dynamics and the physics involved in driving racing cars, learn how to read and interpret data to increase your speed and consistency, and learn to drive the car so your own natural driving style can flourish. This development program has been created to increase your understanding of the feeling you're looking for when you drive on the limit. Explaining a feeling is like trying to explain a colour or a smell, and driving racing cars is all about feel. This feeling is the elusive X factor that so many of us are unable to find. And it's easy to understand why. To drive any racing car on the limit of its grip potential, the driver must be able to balance and react to the car moving and sliding on the four tyres. They must surf that delicate knife edge between perfection and disaster. There are some complex forces acting on the car and driver, which are interpreted through the G-force the driver feels because they are tightly strapped into the car. In essence, they are part of the vehicle itself. In a real-life situation, the driver takes almost all their cues about the car's behaviour using the senses they're receiving through their body. But we have none of those luxuries. In a sim, we have no G-force to judge sliding and yaw. We are not part of the car, and therefore we're unable to rely on the biggest and most important cues a real-life driver is using. Because of this, we have to learn to drive using different feedback receptors if we are to maximise the car's potential. When you spell it out, it's easy to see why so many sim drivers reach a certain level and cannot progress past that point. Without any G-force or seat of the pants feeling, the only real way of progressing as a driver is to arm yourself with knowledge. The real-world forces acting on the car have been simulated, but if you can't feel them, how do you understand and exploit them? If you learn more about the forces acting on the car and how and why they relate to the steering and pedal inputs, you're in a much better position to be able to understand and master the tricky puzzle that is sim driving. In other words, knowledge helps to fill the gaps left by the lack of real-world forces. This is the principle I used whilst creating this driver development program. The lessons and exercises within this course will help you isolate and better understand what is required to master a particular skill. By isolating the individual component parts, you can work on that elusive feeling required to drive on the limit. Once you've built up a library of individual skills, individual feelings if you prefer, I will show you how these are combined to make the race car dance through the turns on the very edge of the limit of grip. Within this course, you will learn more about the individual components of sim driving, such as the importance of driving the correct line, how and why we need to trail brake, how and why the pedals and steering wheel influence the car's behaviour, and a whole host of other information. This course will break down the separate components of driving fast and explain the concepts behind why they are important. We will delve into the incredibly complex world of car dynamics and discuss some of the forces acting on the car and driver. I will use my extensive knowledge of car dynamics and more than 2 decades of sim driving experience to break down these massively complex subjects, extract the relevant information and provide it to you in a way that is easily digestible and without going into too much mind-bending science. Because we have no ability to feel the car, We have to arm ourselves with knowledge if we're to solve the complex puzzle that is driving on the limit. I believe that once a driver understands why the car does what it does, they're better equipped to understand the reasons why race drivers use techniques like trail braking, which in turn will help them become faster and more consistent. I refer to this as learning the language of the sim. Indulge me with a quick analogy, and I will explain the difference between copying what somebody else does and the method I have developed. Picture learning a foreign language. You can learn a paragraph of foreign text, and with enough practice, you would be able to recite that paragraph perfectly, but you still don't speak the language. All that work, and you still only know one paragraph. This is what I equate to watching a video and copying the way another driver tackles the track. With my development program, you can learn to speak the language of the sim, allowing you to tackle any car round any track in any conditions. Using my method, you can learn to get the best out of yourself and drive the car using your own natural style, something that copying another driver will never enable you to do. In a shorter form, what I'm saying is this: you can have a quick fix that doesn't really move your understanding of sim driving forwards, or you can embrace my method and learn to adapt and feel the limit of grip in any car. Which sounds better to you?